It's all part of the job.
It is, right? All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the September edition of Coffee and Kolache. Going a little off book today. I know that you're used to seeing Cecilia. She is out doing what she does best, which is meeting with our fabulous donors. So today, I am here with my good friend Eric. Eric is the owner of Hospoda. We are going to do Pilsner and pastries.
Pilsners and pastries today, yes.
Nazdravi.
Nazdravi.
Alrighty, so I am over here with Eric at his restaurant, Hospoda, and we are so excited to talk to you today about one of our most exciting events, most look forward to, Brunost 2022. What better place to talk about Brunost than at your bar with a good Czech Pilsner.
The original Czech Pilsner, the first one ever brewed way back in Pilsen, Czech Republic in 1842. So.
This is why you're here, Eric.
We love the beer.
You bring the detail.
We love the beer, and we're here all about the detail on the beers, yes.
Absolutely. So let's just dive in. I want to tell you about Brunost. Hopefully some of you have been before. It is our biggest fundraiser for the museum of the year. And we're going to jump in. Eric, you've been there before.
Yes.
We do it every year in September. This year, Friday, September the 16th. Get your tickets. You can get them on our website, ncsml.org. All of the details are there. Eric and I are going to go through some of that today with you, but thank you for having us.
Of course, happy to have you guys here.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, I have worked Brunost a few times. I've attended mostly in a working function, but I always get to hang out and enjoy the time there as well. And you know, Brunost is one of the most fun events that you're going to have here in the Czech Village neighborhood. There's so much good food there, so many good drinks that you get to try. There's always local beers to sample, and then also other world beers to sample, and a lot of really interesting Czech liqueurs to try, whether it's Slivovica or Bekarovka, and just really great Czech beers. And then a lot of local restaurants bring in some unique foods for everybody to try as well.
Right.
And so it's a unique experience for everybody involved, I think.
And really an opportunity, I think, for some of the, especially the international beers and spirits that you mentioned, maybe an opportunity for people to try those things that they wouldn't normally try in a restaurant or at a bar.
Yes, exactly. Yep. So oftentimes you'll have just a wide range of beers that, like I said, you're not going to find elsewhere. And then oftentimes they'll pair those beers up with a local beer that's similar, so you can kind of do a compare and contrast sort of deal of, oh, this is how they're doing an IPA over here as opposed to our IPAs, or this is how they're doing a lager versus our lagers. And so you can kind of do a fun little compare and contrast and see how they do it over in Europe and compare it to how we're doing it here in the US.
Right, which is really, really cool. One of the best parts of the event. With this year, we're having over 20 vendors, a lot of them local. Throughout Iowa, we have an expert from, much like Eric, you could probably help us out with this too, Eric, from John's Grocery down in Iowa City, who works with us based on the vendors we have, the food that we're going to have, and makes those pairings.
Yes.
Talk about how important that is to pair the right drink with the right meal.
Well, it really does go hand in hand, whether you're doing something dessert and you want something sweet and you want to find that right beer to kind of pair with that. Oftentimes, if you're doing a sweeter beer, I kind of like to go for a darker, sweeter, or a sweeter food, go for a darker, sweeter beer. And then if maybe you're doing something spicy, maybe throw an IPA in there, because IPAs and those hoppy beers really pair well with something that has a bit more spice or heat to it as well. And so yeah, finding those good beer, food combinations really work well together. But you had mentioned John's Grocery and them teaming up. They're a really great partner with Brunost because they have such a great selection of drinks down there as well. And so John's Grocery, they always bring in a fantastic selection, and you can find something to go with every different dish that you're going to get to try at Brunost.
Right, which is great. So part of your ticket, part of your admission price for Brunost is unlimited beer and food tastings. So if you can handle it, come hungry, come thirsty, you could actually go and try, you know, all 20 plus vendors and really get a good idea about what you might like, what maybe you don't like, what tastes good together.
Right.
Maybe pairings that you wouldn't normally think go together.
For sure. And you know, you can have fun making your own pairings with that too, because everybody's palate's going to be a little bit different. So maybe you like to choose something that pairs differently as opposed to what your friends are trying. And what's great about all the vendors, the food vendors as well that come in, is you have some food vendors that bring in more of an appetizer sort of item, and then others that are doing more of a dessert sort of thing. And so you've got, in terms of food, a little bit of everything for everybody as well, no matter what you're craving at that time.
And talking about everything for everybody, it's not just the beer and the food. With your admission ticket to Brunost, you also will get a special Pilsner glass or a mug, depending on whether you've got the general ticket or the VIP. So you'll get a glass, you'll have something to be able to take home with you. We're gonna have tons of yard games. It's been beautiful here in Iowa lately, so hopefully we'll stick that weather out for a couple more weeks and have a really great day. We're going to be outside. There will also be some things happening inside the museum, so this is a great opportunity to come out and get inside our building if you haven't been there before. Unlimited food and drinks, the yard games. We're having a silent auction as well as a live auction. Some really great live auction trips that you can win. And speaking of trips, the other thing that we will be we're selling them right now, are raffle tickets for a trip for 2 to Prague. A great prize, a great location. The hotel that comes with this is right in the middle of the city. Have you been to Prague?
I've not. It is a dream of mine to get over there. My family comes from the Czech Republic, so it is my dream to get over there and see where they came from. And I've heard great things about Prague. I know it's a beautiful city. So.
Yeah, I've talked to many people just in my short time here at the museum, lots of people who have been there. So you can get your raffle tickets through the museum right now. You can come the day of the event and get your raffle tickets there. They're just $10. Again, online, ncsml.org. You can buy your general admission ticket or a VIP ticket. The VIP ticket gets you early entry, which is really important for this kind of an event. So early entry will start at 5:30 for our VIPs and our sponsors. And 6:30 we'll start general admission, and really just kind of open it up to people to just really do what you were talking about, Eric, is to go around to the different vendors, see what's available, see what you can kind of like to pair. We will have plenty of non-alcohol drinks as well, so we do have a designated driver package. We want to make sure that everyone is safe.
Yes.
This is an opportunity to taste everything, but we also want to make sure you get home safely. So in addition, any of those tickets that you purchase come with a safe ride home. Thank you to our sponsor True North for that. It will be via Lyft. So if you are interested in utilizing the Safe Ride Home, you can find a staff member that day and we'll make sure that you get home safely. As I mentioned too, we have a special discounted ticket for designated drivers, so bring a friend with you who is going to help you not only have fun during the event, but keep everybody safe. I want to talk a little bit too about your business and being here now in the Czech Village. I should mention also, Eric and his team at Hospoda will be hosting the after party. So when Brunost ends around 9:30, anybody who has a wristband from the event can come over.
That's right.
You can sit right here, have this excellent Pilsner. I need to branch out, Eric. This is usually the one I get.
I know.
But I'm here. But
in my opinion, it is the best though. So if it's not broken, why change it, right?
I agree. I agree. So you can come on over here. Eric and his team are offering free pizzas, free 10-inch pizzas that night. Again, with your wristband from the event, a free pizza, and you get a discount on this wonderful Pilsner.
That's right.
You are new down here.
Yes, we are a new business down here, and we are Hospoda, and Hospoda is the Czech word for pub. And when I envision what a pub is all about, is it's a calm, comfortable place to come in, relax, have a food, have some drinks, and maybe just have a conversation with the people sitting next to you, and that's kind of what we want to be, is just a comfortable place for everybody to come in, sit down, relax, and just have a conversation with the person sitting next to them. And that's what I envision a pub being, and that's what we want to be here in the Czech Village.
Right. And that really is what is special about really the district as a whole. And the different shops and restaurants and pubs that we have down here. I think it's really, really special. You were sharing with me, you've met some really interesting people by being located here.
For sure, yes. With us being here in the Czech Village and right across the street from the National Czech and Slovak Museum, we do get a lot of visitors in here, a lot of tourists as well. And I've had just so many fun interactions with folks from Slovakia and from Czechia or Czech Republic these days, and them stopping in and just hanging out and having a conversation with them. And it's cool to learn about their life and how things are over there on their side of the world, and them asking us about how we are over here. It's really cool to be in the neighborhood that we are and just have such a diverse population coming in here and hanging out, and that's what makes the Czech Village so great.
So for you as a business owner and a resident in this area, how are events like Brunost important to you being here?
Well, I think it's a really good opportunity to showcase the best of the neighborhood and the best of the city as a whole, because like I said, it's such a local event where there's so many local food vendors coming in, to where they get to showcase what they do really well. And then, we can just show how beautiful this neighborhood is as well. And there's a lot of visitors from outside of the area that come for Bruno's that make it a really cool event as well. And of course, we welcome that extra traffic that brings an event like that as well. So
right.
yeah, it's really great.
It is. It's a really special place. If you haven't come down here recently, there's no other excuse
right.
than to come for Bruno's and then stick around. You mentioned a little bit about your heritage and your background.
Yes.
You clearly have a lot of knowledge about not only American beer, but European beer as well. How did that get started for you, that interest?
Well, my family does come from the Czech Republic. My great-grandma moved over here in the 1920, actually, when she was 19 years old. And so I do have a passion for my heritage and learning as much about it. And, part of the Czech culture is Pilsner. They were the originators of Pilsner beer, and Pilsner Urquell is kind of our flagship beer that we have here. But it goes a little bit larger than that as well. When you learn about craft beer and things to that end, it's an exciting world. It's a fun world. But no, it's something that we enjoy featuring here at our pub is Pilsner Urquell, and we pour it in the old proper Czech way as well.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, you were telling me a little bit about the foam. I think that's really interesting because
yes.
I think maybe this is American. If I'm pouring my own beer, I'm trying to get no foam.
For sure.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, one of the phrases that I like to say is foam means flavor.
Right.
And so for us, especially when we're pouring the Pilsner, we always talk about 3 fingers of foam. And so we'll get as much foam as there as is possible in a way, but also we try to replicate it just how they do it over there in the Czech Republic as well.
Right.
So yeah, 3 fingers of foam, and we actually pour it on a Czech-made faucet, so that allows us to pour it in the old traditional Czech way that they do over there.
So you are not messing around here at Hospoda.
Right.
It's not just the Czech name. You really have woven some of that culture and tradition into everything that you do here.
Exactly. We want to give people the authentic experience when it comes to the Czech beers that they're going to have here at Hospoda, and let them experience how the beer would be served over there as well.
Right, right. So you also do pizzas here.
That's right, yes.
You want to talk a little bit about your special oven and how Manny, who's awesome.
For sure, yeah.
Who is the chef extraordinaire.
Oh yeah, Manny creates exquisite pizzas that we do here. And we do all wood-fired pizzas. And so our pizza oven is actually a French-made pizza oven. So it was mostly built over in France and then shipped from France over to Dallas, Texas, where their satellite location is, and then shipped from Dallas up to us. And with us, within a couple days of us having it installed, we were up and running and making pizzas. And it's a fantastic oven. It allows us so much flexibility to make so many different things. But pizza, of course, is our focus here. And when you think about a combination of pizza and beers, it kind of goes hand in hand. But yeah, it's something that has worked out really well for us. It's something that Manny has a lot of experience working with, and we thought it'd just be a fun addition to the Czech Village neighborhood to provide a fun little pizza joint for people to come and hang out in as well.
It really, really is, and I think that it ties in really so well with what the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library is trying to do, which is to preserve this kind of history and to keep telling these stories. So this is just another way. I mean, obviously we want people to come in. This is your National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library, which is really special. It's amazing to have that here.
For sure.
In Cedar Rapids. And I think, it's one thing to come over and you can look at the exhibits and look at the artifacts, see the textiles, hear the stories. But I love that you're kind of doing this in real time and making it sort of practical that we can keep these traditions and this history alive in our everyday. Yeah. And it was really something that's important for us to do. And really being in a partnership with this area, we have visitors coming a lot, tourists come in. Yep. We have, internationally known musicians who will come and play here. And I know a lot of times, maybe it feels for them a little bit of home in some ways.
Yeah, and that's what we want it to be, is we want it to be welcoming and inviting and feel comfortable for everybody. So whether you're from here or not, when you come to the Czech Village and you visit the museum, that you feel just comfortable and welcome all the time, and I think that's kind of what the village is building upon and improving upon. And if you've not been over to the museum before, you really need to get over there. It's one of the most beautiful places here in the neighborhood, and some really great exhibits in there to see, and a lot of heritage to learn about as well.
There is, and we're changing them all the time. We do have the main exhibit, as you know, our Faces of Freedom, but we're always changing, bringing in new things. And it kind of harkens to, I think there are a lot of people from this area who know the museum, they know the story, they know about the flood and the rebuilding, which is an amazing story in and of itself. But I think that there are a lot of people who think, well, gosh, I've lived here my whole life, but I've actually never been to the museum, or, oh, I always see it and it seems beautiful, but I've never gone in. What would you tell to somebody who's maybe like, wow, this Brunost event kind of sounds pretty cool? What's the value of them coming to not only that event, but being connected to the museum, even if they're not maybe Czech or Slovak?
Well, for sure. Well, when it comes to Brunost, it's unique compared to most other what you might consider beer festivals, because it's more than that. You consider all the great food that you get to try and so many interesting people that you're going to meet over there. I've been there for numerous years, and you meet so many fun and interesting people at Brunost, and so that's part of the fun as well, is the food and the drinks, of course, but then the conversation that you're going to have with folks while you're there. And then, when you go into the museum, like I said, the mainstay exhibit is always one of my favorites. You can go through there and hear some stories and read some stories and really learn some interesting things, not just about the Czech Republic, but about the past of Europe as a whole. And then they do the rotating exhibits as well, which are really fun. I remember going and seeing a guitar exhibit there a year or so ago, and that was incredible. There's some really neat instruments in there that I'd never seen before. And then beyond that, the gift shop is really awesome in there. I've found some really good gifts in there for family and friends that I bought over the years. Really great Christmas ornaments in there that I really love. Some unique Czech Christmas ornaments in there that are really interesting. And then the museum. I've gone through that museum and I've found past family member names in some of the books in there. And so it's just fun to kind of peruse that and just go through and see what's in there. And so a lot of different things to offer over at the museum, like I said. So Brunost 1 is great because it's unique in terms of what a festival can be. In the museum, if you haven't been, there's so many different things to see in there that it's not something that you want to miss checking out.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. And September, we're finally into September, and September to me means football. So I am a huge football fan. I'm really excited for it to get going. So I want to remind people that one of the exhibits that we have right now, and it's going to be ending fairly soon, I think it'll go through October, is about George Halas, the founder of the Chicago Bears, Papa Bear, as they call him. So I'm not sure if you're a Chicago Bears fan at all. I cheer for the Chiefs, but I'm a football fan. I love the history, and I will say, if you are a football fan, come through and do not miss this exhibit before it leaves, because there's just he was such an integral part of not just the Chicago Bears, but the NFL in general. There's just some really cool history, and if you are as old as me and you remember the Super Bowl Shuffle from 1985, they have it rotating on a loop, which is kind of amazing. So don't miss that. I want to let's get back to Brunost a little bit as we kind of wrap up today's show. It's nighttime in Prague, right? Like we're gonna stay here probably, and go into our weekend with this amazing Pilsner. But talking about Brunost just one more time, make sure you get your tickets and come to see us. Again, you can get those tickets online at our website, or come down. Come to the museum is going to be open all weekend. It's open on Monday on Labor Day. If you have the day off, come down. Bring your kids. Kids actually really enjoy our museum as well. But again, our Brunost event, don't bring your kids to Brunost. 21 and over. Do bring your designated driver. Bring your friends with you. And really just a way, I know for me, one of the hardest things for me to do when I want to go out in Cedar Rapids is to decide where to go. We have so many great restaurants and places, and even all along the corridor.
That's exactly right. There's so many great places right here in Czech Village, and like I said, all along the corridor. So come check it out. And this
is a great event because it's all right there. I don't have to choose which place I want to go to. And then I'm going to come see you at the after party. We'll be over here again.
That's right. We'll be here for the after party for all the attendees that want to come and hang out.
So we really, really appreciate you joining us today. For hopefully Cecilia is okay with me going off books. So she left me in charge here today while she's out and about doing her thing. So we appreciate you joining us. If you have any questions or want more details about which vendors are going to be at Brunost, please again visit our website and enjoy the weekend. Happy Labor Day weekend, and cheers.
Cheers.